this video, we're going to look at logic, mathematical reasoning. So on this course, you're going to do a lot of mathematical reasoning. Yes, I want to say of just your logic, your common sense. I want it, your English and your just logic, your common sense will help you go through the course, and some little bit of mathematics and some few notations that I want to touch in, terminologies, and yeah. So we're going to look at something called a statement. Um, a statement is a statement. It's an English word. It's an English. It's a statement. So there's something called a proposition. Proposition is a statement that can be either be true or it can be false. It can be both. So, for instance, I am a boy. That can be either be true or false. It can be in between. So yeah, so that we call proposition. And the statement, propositional statement, can be either be true or false, depending who are you asking. Just to make it simpler for before I continue the video, let's just look at some things that I think you will need to know in a video. Logical connectors. Your logical connectors are first one is not. Not is a negation, and you'll see a sign like this. Let me say I mean not P, or let me not P. Let me say not a boy. You'll see something like this. Not, this thing means not. Some books will use different notation, but just check what your lecture or your university is using. Others use something like this. For not, I'll be using more of this. 2. Another logical connector that you need to know is AND. It's also called a conjunction, right? And it is denoted by this symbol. A third one is going to be O, and it's called disjunction, right? And it's noted by a symbol like that. Okay, and we have 4. We have if then. It's called an implication. It will be denoted by a symbol arrow. And last one, 5. We'll have if and only if. You'll see in some book it will be abbreviated as like if and only if. It's called biconditional. You will see throughout the video biconditional means can go this way and the other way. Because of going both ways, it's denoted by an arrow that point both ways. You need to know all these symbols and meanings so that you'll be able to go through with the course that I'm taking with you. So make sure that you understand any of them. If you're facing problem throughout the video, go back and confirm if you're still having right signs and right notation. We're going to look at conditional statement. Conditional statements. So from a word condition, it really tells you that some condition need to be satisfied for other one to happen. Like if you watch or unsubscribe to this video, you will pass. So you passing literally rely on you subscribing and watching my videos, right? So yeah, it's a condition to satisfy, then there will be a reward or a conclusion. Okay, so conditional statement are if then statement. If then, if you watch my videos, then you will pass. If you subscribe to my videos, then I'll do more videos. So some condition needs to be satisfied before the then statement is executed. The if part is also called a hypothesis. Hypothesis, right? And the then part is called a conclusion. What will happen if this statement is true? So if this happens, then this will happen. And again, I need to emphasize there is something called negation. Negation denoted by this symbol, I said. And here, if you're talking about, I need to mention this one before I forget. If you're talking about the truthness of a statement, you don't use equal sign, you use this. It means logically equivalent. It's another you need to know. It's logical equivalence. Not these things are equal, but they are logically equivalent, which means if this one is true, the other one should be true again. Not equal, but logically equivalent. Please take note. For the process of the video, we're just going to use a statement that we're going to help you understand. If the statement is if you live in Johannesburg, then you are in South Africa. If you live in Johannesburg, then you are in South Africa. Like likely we know the statement is true, right? I'm in Johannesburg right now and I'm in South Africa. So this statement is true. So we can now say live in Johannesburg is P. Being in South Africa is Q. So this can be written as P in a first order. P implies Q. So if you are in Johannesburg, then you are in South Africa. So we said that is what? That is true. Let's look at the inverse. Inverse, inverse, you just put the not in front of whatever statement is. So inverse is going to be not. P implies not Q. Okay, to see its truth value, we're just going to just read the sentence and see if it's still going to be true. That's a very good exercise if you want to get along with this logic thing. So if you don't live in Johannesburg, not, I'm putting not here, this is P, right? If you don't live in Johannesburg, then you don't live in South Africa. That is obviously false. False. There are people, they're pulling Cape Town, they're pulling Durban, they're pulling like all the cities in South Africa. And you being not in Johannesburg doesn't make you not in South Africa. So this one is false. So now we know that the inverse of a statement is false. Let's look at another important term. Contra positive. What is contrapositive? Contrapositive, you just flip it upside down. That was supposed to be Q here. I don't know what happened. It's supposed to be Q. You flip it upside down, it's going to be Q implies P. Remember, it was P implies Q, now it's going to be P. And the other thing, because it's contrapositive, you also negate both of them. Let's take this statement again and try to reference it to this statement to see if it is going to be true or false. Remember, we're talking about prepositional statements. They're supposed to be true or false. They are not supposed to be in between. Let's check this statement. Not Q implies not P. This is Q, this is P. If you are not in South Africa, then you can't be, or you are not in Johannesburg. Yeah, that one is true. Think about it. I did say in the beginning of this that this is all, most of it you have to do your common sense. You're going to use most of it in logical mathematics or discrete math. So it is impossible for you to be not in South Africa but be in Johannesburg, because being in Johannesburg alone make you to be in South Africa. So the contrapositive statement said, if you are not in South Africa, then you are not in Johannesburg, of which is true. So we just noted something very important here, that the contrapositive statement is the same or logically equivalent with the original statement. Remember, the first statement was true, the inverse was false, the contrapositive is now true. And this is always going to be a case. The other one that is important is the converse. The converse of the statement is simply swiping or reversing the statement. So we have P implies Q, so the converse is going to be Q implies P. Is this thing true or false? We really don't know. Let's check with the statement. Q is South Africa, P is Johannesburg. Let's go to a sentence again. P implies Q. That means if you are in South Africa, then you are in Johannesburg. If you are in South Africa, then you are in Johannesburg. No, that is not a case. That is false. You can be in any part of South Africa and be not in Johannesburg. Interesting. Let's look at biconditional statement that I did talk about earlier. Biconditional. Biconditional that I said they were denoted by this symbol, or biconditional statement are statement which their converse is true. Converse is true. This is the converse. So for a statement to qualify to be biconditional, it needs to be true. So obviously, because this converse is inverse for our statement, that means it's not a biconditional statement. For instance, I could give you a statement that if you live in planet Earth, then you live in a third planet from Sun. Okay, then if you live in planet Earth, then you live in a third planet from Sun. So that is the same as saying, if I swipe it upside down, or should I say, if I get it converse, it would be like, if you live in a third planet, then you live in the planet Earth. Those statements are biconditional because either way you look at it, it's the same. So that is going to be P implies Q, and also Q implies A. If you live in a third planet, then you live in planet Earth. And if you live in planet Earth, that means also you live in the say. Okay, I assume you said it. This is the end of the video. So make sure that you subscribe so that you get more of such content, and if you find them useful, please comment and share with your classmate. Comment with any videos that you want me to do, maybe some such subject that you're working on you want me to do. Just comment, and if you spot any mistake in any of my work, you're more than welcome to tell me, but I make sure they are not. But if there is any, please make sure that you inform me, and please make sure you subscribe. If it was a good video for you, please thumbs up. Thank you.